YouTube, what's up, and welcome back to another trucking vlog. So today we are doing an interview with Queen Ericka. She's a trucker. She's been out here over the road over about a year.
Yes.
A year experience out here over the road.
Yes.
So Ericka, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from and you know.
So my name is Ericka. I'm a truck driver. I'm from the motherland, to be specific, Benin.
Okay. So at what age did you come to America?
5 years old.
Okay, you've been here a while.
Yes.
All right. So tell us what you were doing before trucking.
I was in the nursing field. First, I was a caregiver, and then I moved on to do my LBN, which is a licensed vocational nurse.
So why trucking? How did you end up becoming a trucker from nursing to trucking? How did that happen?
I started kind of feeling confined, and I didn't have any passion for it anymore to help out people in that particular way. So I decided to come out on the road and experience something new.
So did you just get up one morning and decide, oh, trucking, or somebody introduced you to trucking? How did that happen?
Someone introduced me to it.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course I wanted to, give it a try and see what happened. So I went on with it.
So tell me now, where did you get your CDL?
I got it in Houston at Roadmaster Trucking School.
How long did it take you?
5 weeks total.
5 weeks. So the first time getting around semi, was it intimidating?
Very, very. I actually asked my instructor how, why was it so big, and it was very intimidating.
So how so did you learn fast? Did you catch on quickly?
To be honest, yes. The driving part wasn't hard at all. I think my instructor only told me once and how far you have to go into the intersection, even though some of them are very different. Once you out here, and then you kind of learn and how to do that on your own. But I had a lot of hard time with what they call a forward offset. It was giving me a lot of problems to learn that. I almost give up, which is the maneuver that you have to do in order to pass your road test.
Okay, so how many times did you have to do your road test?
I did it 3 times, because the first time I hit a curve making a left turn. The second time I did not pass the forward offset maneuver, and the third time, that's when I passed.
And that was all in the 5 weeks.
Yes.
I see. So you got your CDL now, and you're feeling good. What next? Where did you head to?
Yeah, I have gained experience to where I'm gonna keep at it. I'm not.
No, which company did you go to? You got a CDL, and what was the next step?
I went to work for Warner. Actually, the school that I went to is owned by Warner, and I went to work with them, and it wasn't a good experience.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, it wasn't a good experience. They only had positions for driving as a team driver, and I had a younger female team driver, and it is said out there that females being in the same environment is not a good thing, and I'm a little older than her, and it wasn't a good experience. It was a lot of selfishness, and it was just a lot. I don't think she was very considerate of having a person with her, and I have to be the one doing everything, including just putting air in her tires, because she was just not the kind of person. And we got paid thanks to me, because I was the one turning in her paperwork for her time of driving in order for us to get paid. And team driving out is something I will not do again. And they terminated me for something without any verbal warning, without any written warning. It was just right on the spot. They terminated me, so it wasn't a good experience. And in my particular experience, I wouldn't recommend that to someone coming out of school, going to Warner.
Would you care sharing with us what happened, why you got terminated?
Like I say, I was brand new, coming out of school, and I wound up in a warehouse that was, sort of a chaotic place. They had 25 back doors that I'm aware of, and they were only using two. Unbelievably, they were only using two back doors. So everybody was ready to, as soon as someone pulled out the back door, they were ready to back in. And by the time I attempted to back in, an experienced driver had already backed into the back door. So it took me a while, and I was still one of those new drivers where you had to pump on the brake so much so the tractor kept on losing air pressure. And someone from Spirited, he came and offered me help.
Yeah.
He saw me struggling, and he helped me back in the truck into the back door. And next thing I know, I got called to the safety, and
so where was the person that was with you? You said you were team driving.
Yes, she was asleep the whole time. And to be honest, honestly speaking, she was the type of person that I helped with everything. Even me, I stopped from sleeping to make sure that she was okay. If she even had pre-trip, I'll help her so we can get through it and head on the road. I'll be the one putting air on the tire, like I said before. Another thing that she was doing, I was the one getting out to look in order for her to park, so I can tell her.
She was definitely not helping you.
Yeah, she was not helping me at all.
You alone was the team. She wasn't the team.
Yes.
All right, so you left. You got let go at Warner. So where did you move on? What was next?
It was actually hard to find another job as a trucker. When you get let go from one company, they seem to kind of work together to not hire the person in another company. So it took me a while to get another job. I got let go on, let me see, I think January, something like that. And I went to another company. Finally, someone took me in mid-February. So it wasn't long to other people, but it was a very long time for a single mother. So, and I called so many companies. The few that called me back told me straight up, "Oh, you've been terminated for one company. We can hire you." So I almost decided not to continue on with this, but I gave it a try after Schneider, gave me the opportunity to come in, even though they were aware of what Warner had done. So
tell us now. You were now at Schneider. What was it like at Schneider?
Schneider has a pretty good training. Don't get me wrong. They have like the best training. I would say the best training before you go out there on the road on your own. They make sure that you know what you're doing. I have very few people that I can talk about in a good way. The beginning was very hard for me, to the point that I lost so much weight from being stressed because I was always driving under pressure.
So you went to training in Schneider. So that all of that stress was doing training at Schneider?
No, the stress came in after I started on the road.
How long were you in training at Schneider?
I'll say 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah. And you had how much experience before going to Schneider?
Barely, I'll say, let's see, about 6 weeks, I'll say, to be exact.
Okay. Yeah. So you spent, it was a short stint at Warner. So you did 2 weeks at Schneider, and then you were on the road. Let's pick up from there.
Yes. Yeah, and once I got on the road, that's where I actually saw how they treat people and how they do business. I was always driving under pressure because it's the type of company that pretty much threatens the driver that if you don't do this, you get terminated. If you don't do that, you get terminated. And they'll sing that to you. That it started just ringing in my head while I'm driving. And I never felt, any peaceful moment driving while I was with Schneider. It was very stressful. I tried to do the right thing, and I still got in trouble. Me and my personal experience, all I can say that they have a good training program. They have good instructors on the field. But once you out there, it's a whole different story, and how you get treated, and it'll damage your brain if you're not careful. So
You mentioned getting in trouble. Could you just elaborate on that? What would you be getting in trouble with?
they are very particular with safety, and I know when you drive an 18-wheeler, of course, you have to be safe at all times. um, we have to be the one watching out for every other drivers, because they actually put that on us to be responsible for the other drivers, to be responsible for every single car on the road. um, to me, the problem was that they you can't, even if you're like, for example, at the entrance of a rest area, they consider that roadside parking is a problem, even though when you're not in nobody's way, which I understand safety comes first. But I think they are it's just overboard in how they do things, and it's not for a weak-minded person like I was when I got in there, because they really mess up my brain. I got to the point where I didn't even know how to focus on the road, because I had to keep on focusing on the dashboard. You can go over 1 mile, you go over, you get in trouble, you get critical events for everything. And it's like you try to do the right thing with Schneider and you still get in trouble.
So describe this critical event thing. What happened? What was really causing you the stress? That is what I'm trying to bring up.
Yeah, I think the stress came in where, for example, we have to have like a conference every Thursday, and throughout the whole 15 minutes, all we heard with it's the new drivers, I guess, was you get terminated if you do this, you'll get terminated. There's a lot of things that I don't even remember and how to explain what, but throughout the whole 15 minutes of meeting, that's all I heard. You get terminated if you don't do this. You get terminated if you don't do that. Um, of course, when the truck is governed, it's still going to pick up speed if you're not careful going downhill. But they are to where you can even go a mile over coming downhill. At one time, I was coming downhill, and I guess I took the gear off a little too soon, and it picked up speed. I got a critical event immediately there. Um, Another thing, I was driving in a regular road where a pickup truck tail kind of was sticking out, and I slowed down immediately when I saw that from ahead of time, and I went by it slowly, but it picked up as a critical event, and I was like, critical event where? So I was kind of like, I got worried. I was worried because I knew I was going to receive a phone call following that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I got another one from coming off the ramp at a work zone where it's totally uneven in those areas where if they're not even, your tires kind of go in a zigzag.
Yeah, where they're putting in the new pavement.
Yeah, I got a critical event for that too. So I was always driving scared, being with Schneider. I was always driving scared, under pressure, very stressed out. So it wasn't healthy for me. It was really unhealthy. So it messed with my brain. It messed with my weight. I got to the point where I didn't have no appetite for eating anymore, because I was always worried about the dashboard and what it looks like, and taking off my eye like from the road to look at the dashboard, because I got to make sure the numbers don't go up. So it was very.
So why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave?
Well, in a single mom's position, it's kind of hard to make that decision. I had to make sure that I had something in hand first before letting go. Actually, now that you mentioned that, when I started with Schneider, I was barely a week in with the company. I sent in my resignation letter. That's how stressful and tough it was from the very beginning. 1 week in, and I sent in my resignation letter.
What happened?
And my dispatch, tried to convince me. He was like, just give it another chance. You work hard for your CDL. Just give it another chance. So I thought about it, and I stood there, but it didn't get any better. It got worse, to the point that I used to cry while driving.
Oh Lord.
Because I'll get the message on the tablet, and I could take a quick glance, and it's like, oh, you got to call safety and all that. I'm like, oh my God. So I wind up, crying like nonstop while I was driving. And somebody actually told me, you know, how can you do that? Are you okay drive? Because I used to cry while I was driving. That's
Oh,
how
God.
they stress me out.
All right. So how long were you at Snyder?
To be exact, 6 months, straight 6 months.
So
Yeah.
how did you end up leaving Schneider for Super Eagle?
Detail, I got to a rest area around 4:40 in the morning, and we already know that it seems like 95% of the truck drivers drive during the day. So anytime you try to get parking during the evening, you can find no parking at truck stop, you can find no parking at the rest area. And I wound up at the rest area so early, around 4:40 in the morning. Of course, there's no parking, so I pull into the entrance ramp behind another truck, put my flashers, and I kept on getting out and look to see if any of the drivers starting to move out, so I can, you know, put it in the spot. And I think I sat there for a little over 2 hours, 4:40 until like about 6:16. That's when
So how long were you driving prior to reaching that rest area?
10 hours.
You were driving
10 hours, 45 minutes to be exact.
So you had no time to go nowhere
I had
else?
no time to go nowhere else because I had planned my trip. That was actually the plan B of my trip, you know.
To get to that particular
rest area, yes.
Okay, so what became of that?
And I got a call. I actually got the message on the tablet, and also got the following load that I have removed. So I called because I was wondering where was, you know, why was the load taken off, and they didn't say anything. Nobody was honest with me. They didn't say anything on the phone. This what happened. That's why the load was taken off. The only thing they told me is you got to finish your journey, take that load to the warehouse, go deliver it, and then you got to take the truck back to the OC. So I did just that, and then when I got to the OC, I call, and that's when they told me that you know, that they were gonna call me again the next day at 10 o'clock in the morning. They weren't so bad about not saying anything to me over the phone, that when they removed the load, they removed even where to fuel up. So by the time before I got to the warehouse, I was already in E with the light on, and barely made it to the OC with no fuel. You know, so they didn't even care if I got it stranded with their truck on the
So
side
basically,
of the road.
what was happening? They were firing you.
Yeah, and
So-
they didn't
so
say
they
anything
so they
until
were
2
bringing
days later. They told me, okay, this what happened because you got to the rest area, and they say, I know, I understand what you're saying. I saw you on the camera that you kept on getting out to check if somebody had moved, but you know, it's unsafe, and here you are terminated. I mean,
And that was it.
yeah, and that was it.
And
And they terminated me miles and miles away from home in Pennsylvania when I'm out of the Houston OC. And it's just unbelievable. So I was like, what am I supposed to do with my belongings? You know, they are so inhumane that they will just terminate you wherever you are, not caring that you have to get home.
So how did you get home?
Well, they did bought me a plane ticket, and they weren't on top of the plane ticket. I missed the flight because, you know, I didn't have no way to get to the airport as they have promised. So all of that has to be redone the next morning, and I finally was able to get to the airport and get home. But you know, without my belongings, till this day, I don't even know where it is. I don't know if they threw it away because nobody's giving me a befitting answer about that when I called.
So you got fired, you got let go. How long were you at home?
Let's see. I was home probably a week or two, maybe, you know, less than 15 days.
So you were applying for trucking jobs?
Yeah, I actually started applying as soon as, you know, I got the feeling that was going to happen. I started applying, but of course, that will count as two companies, you know, terminating me. So this time there was no trucking company that was willing to give me a chance.
Yeah.
Not a single.
Who did you apply? Where did you apply?
I tried Swift first, and then I tried U.S. Express. They got back to me, and it wasn't good news, which I already knew.
What did they say?
Because I have two terminations,
Oh.
and within a short period of time, they weren't able to take me. I tried the ones from the Valley, like Spirit of San Juan. I tried Mencia Valley Transport. I tried Western Express, which they did get back to me, and they told me, one person told me that they will hire me, but I had to sign a contract to work with them. And then another person called me from Western Express and didn't say anything about that. He said that since I had two terminations, they weren't going to be able to hire me. So those two weren't on the same page.
Oh.
And the list goes on.
All right. So no company wanted you. So
no.
Was it the reason why you ended up at Super Ego?
Yes.
I see. So we are now at Super Ego. How long have you been here?
I'll say 2 weeks now, almost 2 weeks now.
And it's a very controversial company. What has your experience? Tell us, get into Super Ego. Tell us what it was all like.
Somebody actually recommended me the company, and I'll say that the process of getting hired was pretty easy, pretty good. Thankfully, it seems like they do give opportunities to people that are willing to make a difference. So so far, I only have positive things to say, honestly. I still haven't bump into something where I will be honest and I will tell you, but so far I'm learning. It's a new experience. It's a whole new deal that I'm learning each and every day. But
so are you making money? Smiling. Seems like you're making a lot. all right. We won't go into your pocket, but it seems like everything is okay on that side.
Yeah, so far it's pretty good. I think, like one person say, you can't make any money unless you know the game. So even though I'm
a rookie,
still, I'm still learning, but
I'm glad to hear that.
It's gonna be a good experience. So.
It looks like maybe you're talking too soon.
Let's see what happens.
Well, I'm over here. I'm over here, and I came because I left Schneider, and I just decided to call also and to come and give it a try because I'm a YouTuber, and I'm always hearing negative things. I've been speaking to a lot of drivers on the road who are Super Ego drivers, and if let's say for example I speak to five drivers over a weekly period, 3 would have bad to say and 2 would have good. So I decided I'm going to come in the system, and I'm tired of being somebody's push around, somebody's press button. So I intend to get my own truck. So I feel that if this is a tough company, which place it is the best place to learn, managing stuff. So that's why I'm here, but I'm not having that great experience that you're having. All right. Anyway, back to you. So over the road as a female driver, what has that been like?
It's very complex. You have to always 100% watch out for your surroundings and just do not trust anyone. And I think that goes both ways, for male or female. We just have to be careful, of our surroundings. And other than that, it's been pretty fine.
Okay, so what is your driving like? Well, how do you drive? Tell us a little about how you handle the road and the hours and so on.
I love driving. At first, I used to. It's funny because when I was in school, I told my instructor once, "How do you do this? 2 hours into driving when they took me for like practice and all that. I was always the first one whining after 2 hours. Like, how do you do this? I'm tired." But once I got on the road on my own, it's like I just grew into it, and those hours don't do anything like to me. I just drive and make sure I drain that whole clock until the last minute.
That's how you drive, always draining that clock.
Yeah.
So you constantly drive 10 plus hours every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank goodness DOT has the thing that you have to stop after 11 hours because else I'll keep on going.
You don't, oh Lord, you're a trucker to the bone. I really drive for 10 hours, I'll tell you the truth. But since coming at Super Ego, I feel more relaxed because I was a Schneider driver as well. And
Okay.
I left because of similar things that were happening to you at first. The calling and the stressing about braking and some,
Yeah.
you know, things that I considered trivial. So since coming to Super Ego, I feel more relaxed now. And I'm ending up driving 9+, and I'm now hitting 10 hours
It's
every day.
possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Possible. Yeah.
All right. So, as a female truck driver, what would you say for other, especially young girls who are interested getting into the industry?
I'm actually the worst person to answer that type of question. I'm not too good at giving, you know, advice or tips when it comes to put it out there. So I really don't know what to say. I mean,
would you if a young girl came up to you in your rig and say, "Hey, I want to be a truck driver," how would you recommend that to a young girl?
I mean, I would if she really wants to, like, if she really wants to do it. I mean, I can't take away that part of the
because I'm
dream
really seeing a lot of females now trucking.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of them out there. I mean, I'll say give it a try, because if you say something like, "Oh, don't do it," and this and that, I think I don't have the right to take that part of that person's dream. You know, it's better to let them go and experience that journey into trucking and see what brings, you know, what life brings to them about it. I mean, we all gonna have definitely like different experiences. So,
well, Queen Ericka, thanks for speaking with me. I really appreciate it, and I wish you all the best and all the success, because I see and I know that you're a great driver, and I think that those other two companies, Warner and Schneider, they lost a good driver. Because I noticed when you came in just now and you parked your rig, you were doing your post trip, checking your tires and all of these. And you know, people who tend to come to Super Ego tend to do away with all of that shit.
Yeah.
So I see that you're responsible, and I would say keep it that way and always do the right thing.
Thank you.
Respect.
Thanks.
That's it.